Welcome, listeners, to the new edition of Spec the Truth, brought to you by Earlymark, where innovation meets precise specification. I'm Michael Poynton, and today I'm joined by Uddhava Sharplin, design consultant and performance Louvre specialist at Louvreclad, the team behind the Aerion Series. Great to have you with us, Uddhava.
Thanks, Michael. Nice to be here.
Uddhava, we're going to talk about how the newly updated AS 4740 2025 testing standard is changing the game and how Aerion is taking building performance to a whole new level. Uddhava, let's start with the old AS 4740 2000 standard. It's been around for ages. What was wrong with it?
Well, Michael, a few years ago when we were testing Louvres, we discovered that there was a lot of ambiguity in the standard. And this led to misinterpretation of how the test rig was set up, some of the instrumentation, and there was also a bit of ambiguity around the terminology, which was very critical to the calculations in this testing process. So that is where we started and realised that we really need to update the standard to really clarify what this testing process requires. So
less guesswork, more consistency, but what's actually new in the updated test?
Yes, exactly. So the new standard really locks down the process. It removes the ambiguity and delivers results that architects can actually trust. So it's really been like re-engineered. So we now have a better description for the test rig alongside illustrations and additional definitions, which ensures all ambiguity has now been removed.
Yep.
Alongside this, we've now also included an extended rain resistance range, which covers much higher rainfall rates and speed and wind speeds and ventilation rates, which makes it much more relevant to building conditions, but also Australian conditions.
Perfect. So when someone's specifying a Louvre now, what do they need to ask for to confirm the Louvre's been tested to the new standard?
So they really need to ask for the rain resistance test report and the discharge coefficient test report. And when they receive these reports or test certificates, they should make sure that their louvres have been tested in an Australian test facility, third-party test facility, and signed off by a registered mechanical engineer.
Beautiful. And that testing you mentioned, that's part of the AS 4740 2025. Why is it important that they're tested to that rather than international standards?
Well, what we discovered when we were testing Louvres is that if you adjust or change the dimensions of the test rig or the slope of the plenum, you get completely different results when testing Louvres. And all the different standards there's three main standards internationally, which is the American standard, the British standard, and the Australian standard. And each of these standards have completely different test rigs. So to ensure we can really, compare apples with apples, we want all Louvres to be tested in the same test rig to the same standard, so we can really understand and make sure that we get the performance that we need for our projects.
Lovely. And we're talking about the design now. What about the people that are inside these buildings? What's in it for them?
Well, Michael, that's the exciting part. With a Louvre like our new Louvreclad Aerion Series, which provides Class A rain resistance and Class 1 aerodynamics, you're improving indoor environments in a big way. So what it means is there's going to be less rain ingress, well, basically no rain ingress, and lower humidity, better air quality. And because the airflow is more efficient, HVAC systems don't have to work as hard. So you're literally saving energy and creating quieter, more comfortable spaces for people that are living and working in these buildings.
Beautiful. And Uddhava, I'm going to ask, you mentioned before we hit record on this chat, F1 aerodynamics. How does Formula One fit into all this? I've been dying to hear more about it.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool, actually, Michael, because while we're updating the standard, we also partnered with these very amazing fluid dynamic engineers who design Formula One racing cars. So these are the people that actually spend their lives shaping air. And they helped us to use CFD, or computational fluid dynamics, to refine the airflow and also shape the Aerion blades. So each blade is almost shaped like an aerofoil, just like a racing car wing. So every single Louvre is really keeping the airflow smooth and reducing any turbulence. So that's how Louvreclad Aerion delivers such low pressure drops while still offering Class A 100% rain resistance and zero vision through the facade.
Wow, Uddhava. I mean, this sounds really exciting. So it sounds like, with this F1 inspiration, who you've been working with, you're really bringing performance and aesthetics, meshing into one. So anyone out there considering or specifying or including this in their project are really including something of the future.
That's right. This is a new generation high performance louver. So while designing a louver blade that works really well aerodynamically, we've also ended up with a beautiful louver profile that gives you this beautiful vertical aesthetic, and it actually spans really well as well. So this means that architects can achieve that floor-to-floor continuous vertical louver, over multiple stories of a building.
Wow.
So yeah, we're pretty proud of it, actually.
No, it sounds great, and we do have the Aerion Series. We do have it within Earlymark. It's digitized, so anyone out there listening, you can include it in your next project really easily. So, Uddhava, for everyone listening, architects, designers, spec consultants, engineers, how should they approach Louvre specification now?
Well, Michael, they should really think about performance first, because you don't want to treat louvers as just a facade detail. Louvers are like the lungs of your building. They allow the building to breathe. So think of them as part of your your building's environmental system. With the Louvreclad Aerion Series, you're really specifying, predictability, precision, and proven performance. And because the test setup of AS 4740-2025 is now standardized and clarified, you can finally compare products based on evidence and trusted test results.
It's great. And with that, absolutely think performance first, but you don't need to compromise on design with the Aerion Series. That's what's nice about what we're discussing here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Uddhava, for the future of building design, big picture, where do you see this going next?
Well, we're entering an era where airflow management is as sophisticated as the rest of the building envelope. With AS 4740-2025 and Aerion Series, we're giving architects and engineers the tools to design buildings that are more efficient, more resilient, and healthier for the people inside them. It's about designing buildings that breathe as intelligently as they are built.
That's great, Uddhava. And such a great perspective. It's amazing to hear and see how far Louvre design has come. From something simple on the facade of the building to now, performance-driven, precision-engineered systems. Uddhava, thank you for joining us and help raise the standard at Louvreclad, literally and figuratively. For our listeners, in Earlymark Spec Suite, we have Louvreclad products. As I mentioned, they're digitized, they're pre-authored, and ready for easy inclusion in your next project. And that includes the Aerion Series. We've gone through and we've worked with the team at Louvreclad to author that and have ready for inclusion. For those that want to dig a little deeper with what we've discussed and gone through today, what's the best way they do that?
Yes, please reach out to Louvreclad directly, because all of these louvers are designed and engineered to suit the project. So we're more than happy to help work through those project-specific details, like connection details to the buildings, but also we also can help you use our calculator. So we've got a Louvre performance calculator that allows you to quickly work through different selections and make sure that you select the right louver for your project that ensures the most energy efficient building.
Awesome. And you mentioned before the call as well that you've got a white paper out, Evolution of Louver Testing Standards, so AS 4740 2025 versus AMCA 500 L23. They can reach out to you directly through the website for that as well?
Yes, absolutely. You can find that on our website under resources, or just get in touch if you want to learn more about how the standard affects your project.
Love that. Thank you, Uddhava. We appreciate your time. And for our listeners out there, we will see you next time.
Thank you, Michael.